Welcome to the Late Night Gamer and Unconditional Surrender. Contrary to what it looks like, I'm not going to play this game as it in the box, but I'm going to use the components from this game and the rules from this game to play Unconditional Surrender Case Blue. So Unconditional Surrender Case Blue is a print and play game based on the same mechanics as Unconditional Surrender, and of course it's by the same designer. It came out prior to the main game, and you're supposed to print out your components, cut them out and play them. I have just printed the map, just on normal paper. And I also printed this track to keep an overview of things. So this I didn't have to print out because I could just use the components from the main game. In addition, there's some rules that are skipped in Case Blue that are in the main game, because the main game is of course much bigger. It encompasses the entire Europe, east and west, during the World War II. So that I think it may be a good fit for this channel and for a playthrough. So let's just have a look at the components, and then we will be setting up Unconditional Surrender Case Blue. So this is the map, and as you can see, it depicts the landscape of an area right to the east of the northern tip of the Black Sea, around the cities of Stalingrad, Rostov, Grozny, Kursk, etc. So we're going to play out the battles occurring here from July 1942 into May 1943. So the game instructs us to put control markers in Kursk, and I'm assuming it's access control markers, and in Krakow. So what we are trying to do is to control the factories here, and the game will immediately end if one faction controls all of the factories. If the game drags out until the end, then the winner will be the faction which controls most cities. Now factories are also cities, but in addition, Voronezh, Saratov, Astrakhan, and Novorossiysk may also be important if we are playing if we are playing until May 1943, the end of the campaign. Okay, so I'm using components here from the main game. I haven't played this before, so while I'm setting it up now, it is as new for me as it may be to you if you haven't tried it before. Right, so I'm putting control markers here, so clearly the Axis factions are coming down here on this map. So there's a conditional event saying that the Grozny event may occur, and the Grozny event will trigger if the Axis faction comes within 3 hexes of Grozny. So 1, 2, 3. So practically, if they cross this line here, this event will trigger, and basically 2 Soviet units will pop up here, one here and one here, trying to defend Grozny. So that's the Grozny event. We'll see if that happens. So there are many things that are different from the main game, and I don't think I will point them out as we go along. Rather, I will try to sum it up in the end, in sort of the aftermath of this game, and then I can do a quick comparison with Unconditional Surrender, the main game, World War II in Europe. So, okay, the control markers are in place. Axis faction controls Kursk and the factory here at Krakow. Krakow? No, Kharkov, of course. Alright, so now I'm going to dig into the counter tray to find the German units that are going to be in this campaign. Alright, so I found the units we need. The Germans are attacking along with the Hungarians and Romanians and Italians, so it's really a multinational task force that are coming down into the Soviet. So this is the German 6th Army, 2952, and we just find the hex. It starts in Kharkov. The units in this game are armies, so there's quite a large group, combat group. The 17th Army. So you can see that here that the 6th Army, let's zoom in. You can see here is that the 6th Army bears the symbol of infantry, which is this square with the cross in. And the X's on top, 4 X's means it's an army. And it also says 6th, so we know that this is the 6th Army and it's mainly infantry. It's German, as we can see, and that's all the information that's on the counter. So this, for instance, would be then the 17th Army, which is also an infantry, mainly composing of infantry. And it will start in, according to the scenario, 3154. So it starts here in the mountains, just crossed the Donets. The Germans' 1st Panzer Army, 3053, which is here. In addition, the Germans are supported by Luftwaffe. That's very nice. Right, so also the Germans has the 2nd Army up its sleeve, but it will enter the game later. So we'll talk about that later. Also, I've dug out the production markers. I'll show you later how they are used. Right, so the German forces are supported by some Hungarian forces, actually an entire army of Hungarian forces, the 2nd Army. And the 2nd Army starts in 2851. So the Italians are also present, and the Italian 8th Army, also an infantry army, starts in 3051. The Romanians has decided to join and are starting in, their 3rd Army is starting in 3252, while their 4th Army are starting in 3552. Yeah, so the Romanians are starting down here in the Sea of Azov, well, between the Sea of Azov and the Black Sea, and this is a strait. This black arrow shows it's a strait. I probably should show you the backside of units. You can see the backside has a stripe on it. All the units have that, so this means it's reduced. And this is the full strength side. Okay, now we will switch to the Russians, or the Soviets, to see how they set up. Oh, okay, so they're facing the Romanians. Oh, that looks interesting. The 6th is on 2953. Oh. So basically it doesn't really matter if I swap these numbers around, if I put the 9th here and the 12th here, because they all work the same way. But for well, I would like to follow the setup, historical setup. Yep, there's an air unit here. 1st Tank Army is in 3060. Oh, it's back here in Stalingrad. Whoa, Voronezh. Right, so that's it. That's the Russian forces that starts on the map. Okay, so this is the, well, I guess I could call it the ordnance sheet or something. It has a lot of information and helps me with the bookkeeping. So remember the Grozny event? If that happens, these 2 infantry divisions will come on. But until then, I'm just going to put them up there. Okay, so this is the turn track. We start in July 1942. And we will end in March 43. So I can put on this scenario end as well. Well, I don't really need a scenario end marker, but I'll put it there nevertheless. So the Germans will have some events that they can use, ground support markers, so this will lend a hand to combat. They start with 2 of these. And this box just says that you should put event markers in this box, and if you remove it from the turn track, it should be put here, and any marker put here is available for use. Right, so 2 ground support markers. Alright, the Russians, they are having 1 unit here in the mobilization box. It's the 62nd Infantry Army, and this unit can be mobilized or bought in the mobilization phase. Oh, okay, so there's actually a box for the conditional units as well, so I can put them here. The Grozny guys. The event marker that Russians start with is the tanks. Right. So these are just for help during play. I'll show it when we play. Okay, so this track is used to track production. And in the game, production points are used to mobilize units and also to activate and move and fight with units. And you get production points by controlling factories. Instruction says that at the beginning of the game I would need to put every production marker in the 0 box, but I'm just going to put them here. Alright, so every nation has a production marker. Right, so let's have a look back at the turn track over here. We need to put on units here because there is some variable entry, or there are some entries according to scenario instructions. The German Second Army has, according to the instruction, a variable entry at start. So that means that we'll be rolling a die, and that number that comes up, you will divide it by 2, and that will tell us in what turn the unit will be available. Right, so for the German unit, let's see, we roll. Oh, it got a 6, you divide it by 2. In the third turn, this one will be available. So turn number 3 is 1, 2, 3. It will be available in September 1942. Okay, so the Russians also has a lot of units which we need to determine. So let's go ahead and roll for them as well. They have a fleet of aircrafts which will be available during the first turn in July 1942. This unit, when it comes on, it will go into the mobilization box. This is all described in the instructions. And also they have a first guard upgrade unit. It will be available the first turn. So 0, yeah. They also have 2 others. Let's go ahead and roll for the second guard and also for the third guard. These are motorized infantry, so they can move a little bit longer, and they have an extra bonus in combat because they're elite. So first the second one, that's in turn 3. Oh yeah, and this is 5, 2.5, should round up to 3. So I did something wrong there. The third guard is specified to come on with a variable entry from September 42, so that's actually 3 steps from September 42. This is September 42, so this is 3 steps ahead. It's 1, 2, so it's in December 1942. These cards will be available, so that's pretty far out. If there's a 5 shock unit also dying to fight, and they will have a variable entry after September 1942. So that's 1, so they will come on in October 1942. But there are more. There are 2 event markers that will be available to the Russians also. First, the partisans, they will also be available after September. The partisans got a 6, that's 3 turns on from September. Here, same as the guards. That's the worst possible results for the Russians. The same with the heavy artillery, they also rolled a 6. So, this is also here. Oh man. Alright, that's a lot of units on this turn track. Yep, so the monthly production is specified here. We'll come to that when we start the game. We are almost ready with setup, because we need to come back here a little bit. I did some errors because the tank units, when they come on, they the Russian tank units will be reduced. So they are not so effective at the beginning. They need to be refitted. Obviously they have been into battle already. And what's more, and a little bit worse, is that the air unit already has flied 3 sorties. And that's important during combat. It gives the Russians a significant disadvantage with 3 sorties already. You will see that when we come to combat resolution. But to even things out a little, the Luftwaffe has flown 2 sorties. We are now ready to start Unconditional Surrender Case Blue. I hope to see you back here at the Late Night Gamer for the first round of Unconditional Surrender Case Blue.